Hello, my dear friends. I welcome you all in this flagship session, the flagship program of Prepzone, which we call as GD-PI-WAT program. We will wait for around 2 minutes for everyone else to join and then we will begin. Till that time, please look at this photograph, Life After Percentile, and think about every single emotion that you have so far experienced the moment you got your percentile. Bad, good, doesn't matter. Just the emotions. And you will soon realize why I'm asking you to do that. See you in just a bit. Welcome back, my dear friends. This is Ashish Chog. I welcome you all in this amazing session on the life after percentile. I'm sure the topic resonates with you. You all have been waiting for a long time. You really toiled hard. You reached this place, and finally, the time has come when you can really express your mettle, express your intent of joining a B school. Without any further ado, let me take this opportunity to explain what the contents of this session are going to be. This is going to be a very small session. I'll be dedicating this session to address a lot of your queries. We have our entire team sitting with us offline, online, in person, on the camera, behind the camera, and everywhere. And they will be guiding you through all the queries that you have right now. We will be holding back on certain queries that we think should not be answered at this time, and when the right time will come, we will reach out to you on this channel as well as in person as to how these things are to be handled. This particular session is to give you a flavor of what GDPI looks like, why this is such an important part of any B school process, and why when we say that cat is done, why this is just a thing that is half done. So it's just the 50% thing that you have achieved so far, and now we are going to do the rest of the 50%. Please feel free to share this link with your friends who still can join us, because we are yet to start in the flow that we intend to. Also, feel free to ask any questions in the comment section as and when we are progressing. The moment I see or anybody from our team sees, we will respond. I'll see to what questions and everything I can respond in person and everything else. So, welcome to this session, my dear guys. Sit straight, spine erect, shoulders relaxed, and smile on your face. The time has come. When we talk about life after percentile, uh, The only thing that comes to us is GDPI, and GDPI is something that you all want to do in the best possible way. Now, here, if I talk about GDPI, what is it? What exactly is so amazing in GDPI or WAT that these B schools are really interested in? So you must understand that any examination contains two parts. One part is your aptitude test, and the other part is your personality test. Everything eventually boils down to a thing known as profit that everybody wants to make. For you, the profit is good B school. Why good B school is such a profit? Because good B school will give you great knowledge. If good B school is giving you great knowledge, do you really want just the great knowledge? Absolutely not. Let's be practical. We are going to be managers soon. When we talk about great knowledge, it is important to understand that great knowledge eventually deals and results into great money. And money is not just the physical part of the money. Money again is in two parts. One part is, of course, physical. That means you get a lot of, uh, you know, stuff with you, lakhs and crores of rupees. On the other hand, the other part of money is the satisfaction, the status that comes with it, and of course, the intellectual stimulation that you get. Of course, you would not want to do anything that doesn't really stimulate your intellect. All those people who have reached this session, I can really term them as sapiosexual because let's face it, we all get aroused by intelligence. And this is what they want to see in you. Who they? The B school professors who will be taking your interview. So, guys, when I talk about profit and when I talk about this part, why do they want to see your intelligence in a B school? Because their profit also is linked with the same thing. Let's talk about their profit. So this is candidate's profit. That means you. Let me call it you. And let me call this as B school. A B school profit results from the fact that if a school is really growing good, uh, there will be a lot of name for that school. The funding, with name, you can command the premium. Premium again comes in two parts. One part of premium is, of course, the alumni that you have. Because if you have strong alumni, you again get a lot of funding. And because of strong alumni, you get a lot of funding from the alumni as well as from everywhere else in the world. The other part of premium is, of course, the funds that we raise from other sources like fee. You can command a premium on the fee only if you are able to deliver the ROI that is commensurate to it. For example, if I talk about I am Calcutta, or let's call it Ahmedabad, Bangalore as well. I am Calcutta, Ahmedabad, Bangalore. All these colleges have a lot of fees, right? Why are they able to command such high fees? Because the ROI is amazing. If you have performed decently well in any of these colleges, the companies automatically assume that you have that basic minimum requirement of intellectual ability that will definitely help their companies to thrive and survive. So they are ready to pay you also the premium for it. So it doesn't matter whenever you take the loan or anything like that, you will be able to repay the loan in very less amount of time. So the profit thing runs in both the ways. And to get the best profit, they want people who can create that profit for them. And just the aptitude strength will not bring that kind of profit, and that's why they want to go for personality test. I will let this thing to sink in before I move ahead, and let me quickly check if there are certain comments that I have to answer. Hmm. What documents should we carry for GD and PI for the day? The answer has already been given in the comment section by Shubham Ranka. Thank you so much, Shubham, for this help. Let me quickly extend this session now. The next part that we must deal with is what is in it for you when we talk about the Prepzone GDPI course. Simple fact, the important thing about the Prepzone GDPI-WAT course is that when we talk about GD or PI or VAT, I am giving you certain mentors who are expert in their field of communication. They are so expert that they will tell you exactly how you have to put forward your point. And guys, before I venture into that territory, dating, you must remember, is equivalent to a personal interview. How? Let's quickly check it. And of course, this will help you in the other way as well. Whenever you go for dating, what is it that your most important intent is? To repeat the date, isn't it? When you're repeating the date, of course, uh, why would a person want to be with you over and over again if you have made them realize, if you have made them comfortable, if you have made them enriched in the very first meeting? Of course they would want to meet again. But if you do the other way, they will definitely not like to see your face. And this become all the more problematic when we seek a date with somebody that we like a lot, but so called is, out of league for us. If there is somebody who is, out of league, and we get a date with that person, what do we feel? We feel nervousness. Isn't that the same thing that you face in PI also? You wanted to have something, you believe that it is very difficult to get, and now that you have got this opportunity, now you are nervous. Absolutely, it happens in both the ways. You want to repeat the date, of course you don't want to repeat the PI. Here the thing is that you want to convert the PI into a proper call. From shortlist to selection, this is what your journey is. Guys, what else do we do in dating? Whenever we go to any date, the important thing is that we have to organize everything. In terms of organization, you rehearse your sentences, you buy clothes because you want to look good, right? You fix a place, you fix a time. Every single element is well curated, and you never get late. Why? Because we believe that if the person is waiting for us, then this might not give a really good impression about us. It's the same case with PI also. What do? You organize. You organize all your data points, which means you rehearse. You organize your thoughts, and you organize your paperwork as well, which is again going back to whatever you have done in your life, and then putting all these things in the form of documents because they want to test you how much of a person of integrity you are. You go to buy new clothes, or you find some good clothes that can show how mature you are, that can show that you value this opportunity, that shows that you take this opportunity seriously, so you don't want to go for the funky clothes. You fix a time. So if they give you a time slot, you pick it. If they do not give you a time slot, you take it. But you always honor the time, because if you do not go there on time, they will not honor you anymore. You fix the place, or of course you don't fix the place in a PI. They fix the place, and then you reach there with so much of emotion running within. You are just waiting for your opportunity to come, and then what happens? The date begins. What do we mean by when date begins? Now here is this guy, right? And here is this girl, right? Now if this guy and this girl, they are sitting on a table, somebody has to initiate something. Of course, now here these people are contemporary. They know each other, and anybody can start. There is of course some sort of awkward silence for a little while, but sometimes there is not awkward silence as well. So it can be may or may not be. So somebody has to start. Where do you start from? You start from Telling something about yourself, isn't the introduction the most important and the very first part of a PI as well? And that is why, guys, it is no different from dating. The only difference in a dating or in a date and PI is that PI I can call as a professional date. Understand the intricacies here. It is just that part of your life where you are talking with a person and you just do not want to miss that opportunity at all. So when I say that introduction is the most important thing in a PI as well as in a date, what else is the most important thing? You want to take this conversation ahead, isn't it? You don't want the person to be off by your introduction that oh, let me just get rid of this person so that I can see someone else. So let me just get rid of that person and try someone else in terms of dating as well. In both the cases, you have to understand that you have to extend the conversation. And you can only extend the conversation when you talk sense. If you will not talk sense, then nobody will be willing to hear you at all. What else do you like to do? What else do you like to talk about? In a date, you sometimes outright and sometimes indirectly you ask, why are we here? It is one of the cheesiest pep lines when someone says, hey, why are we here? Of course, as if you don't know why you are here. But then somebody wants to know your perspective. How serious about this opportunity are you? So why are we here in case of a date is equivalent to why are we here uh, in case of a PI. And that's why, guys, you have to understand the importance of why MBA cannot be denied. This is one such important question. And all these things account for nothing but that part of your personality that so far you have not been able to realize. So when they test you on various things, you want to be prepared. And then the preparation has to come from the experts. And that's where Prepzone comes into picture. So the set of experts from all the top B school, 90% of which are the top IIMs, they will prepare you for GD, they will prepare you for PI, and they will prepare you for WAT, writing aptitude test. I will wait here for a minute and see if there are any questions. All right, guys. So I received a couple of questions on my WhatsApp chats. We'll answer that. There are 3, 4 questions, so I will answer that in this video session only. Guys, please feel free to put anything on the comment section. It is okay. All right, guys. So when I talked about Prepzone, that was enough of marketing. Now let's take it at a step. So here is the most important aspects that we take care of when we are dealing with interview questions. The hygiene factors we have already discussed in terms of interview versus dating. The second part about interview questions is that there are some basic set of questions that you need to prepare. What are these basic set of questions? One part is why MBA. The other part is about your strengths and weaknesses. So they will ask you certain questions like, why should I, and listen to this carefully, reject you? Why should I reject you? Now, imagine your plight. Imagine your plight as a student, as an aspirant, and you have to answer this question: why should I reject you? Of course, you do not want any kind of rejection, but how you have to handle it. This is how they test how adamant are you to get this opportunity. It is nothing but your weakness that they are trying to assess, which means you cannot just tell your weakness, you have to tell what have you been doing to mitigate that weakness. The other question about strength and weakness that they generally ask is, why should I select you? Or why you are better than 10 others that I've met today. And all sort of answers you will be giving. I have a lot of work experience. I have so many achievements. I have a lot of PRs. I have a lot of extracurriculars. I have a lot of scholarships and whatnot. And they will just come back and bug you with the fact that everybody outside has all these things. Tell me, why should I select you? And that is where your intellectual prowess comes into picture, so that they can read in your eyes that yes, you are truly that person who wants this college. Third thing that they expect from you is that why IIM X or any college, or why this college. You must know. Normally, we just revolve our answer around the college infrastructure, the college alumni, which is okay. But is there anything else that can excite you about that college? It could be a course that this college is offering. It could be a professor that the college is having. It was your dream since the time, you were sitting in one of the barber shop and you heard somebody saying, "Oh my God, let me get 99 percentile and I'll reach I am Bangalore or I am Calcutta." This is the kind of dream that you have to extend. Let me take this opportunity to tell you a story. There was a guy, I will not name, but he was my friend. I am Ahmedabad uh, alumnus. So he once got selected for IIM Ahmedabad, but he was in waitlist. Now we all know that the waitlist for IIM Ahmedabad doesn't move a lot. So he went to IIM Ahmedabad because there is a preparatory course that IIM Ahmedabad does, and he was attending that course. After a week or so, when the waitlist did not move, they asked him to leave. Imagine the plight of that situation. In June, his college has started. The college has called him that, hey, why don't you prepare here? Because there is a possibility that the waitlist will move. And suddenly in June, he is sent back. As compared to the other aspirants, he is just left with around 4 or 5 months before he has to attempt the CAT, with more mental trauma because everybody else at home and everywhere in this network knew that he is at IIM Ahmedabad. Nobody expected that IIM Ahmedabad will send this guy back. But that is what the rule is. He was very clear on the rules, but it is heart wrenching. He prepared it again, and then when he sat for IIM Ahmedabad interview once again, the very first thing that he brought in his introduction was this. What would IIM Ahmedabad have done? He got selected. Why was he selected? The only thing that Ahmedabad at that time thought, that this is a person who missed an opportunity because of me, maybe, but this was a person who was adamant to join me. This was the person who was adamant to join IIM Ahmedabad. He prepared again, he got shortlisted, and now he is sitting in the interview once again. If this is the kind of dedication he has with respect to this college, let me take it. I'm sure this will become a great alumnus. And this is the kind of why IIM questions that you have to bring up, guys. A lot of times we do not really introspect what is going on and what should we say. But the moment we realize, we get it. We will also be sharing one sheet with you, one sheet that will contain a list of such really, really important questions. Let's talk about the next part now. Other than these three questions, they will be revolving you around your work experience or your educational experience. It is very important that the questions that they ask you from your work experience or education are really sound, because they want to see whether you have valued these aspects of your life or not. It is very important, guys. For example, they ask you questions like, hey, I think you have done BTech and now you are pursuing MBA. Don't you think you are wasting your 4 years? And people do not have answer to that. Sometimes they will also ask you, so okay, for example, somebody replied that no, sir, I don't think that I have wasted my 4 years. Engineering has given me a great sense of quantitative analysis and a great deal of intellectual stimulation by means of so many subjects. I think I'll be able to utilize the skills and the perseverance that I have got from engineering into MBA. But they will still say, but still you are not using any of the electrical stuff in your MBA. It would have been better if you had done BBA followed by MBA. You would have saved 1 year also, and you would have given someone else a seat that you took. If you cannot value your previous course, I don't think that you can value my course, so I don't want you here. This is the kind of stress situations that the interviewers will create for you. Let me take another example. I am Calcutta has a great process that they ask at least one maths question. At least one maths question. Now, you might say, oh my god, math was not really a strong area for me, but I still cleared CAT. Now they are asking me a maths question again. And it's been quite some time that I have taken CAT, so I have already forgotten everything. What if I do not answer that question and they kick me out? That is wrong. Guys, understand one thing. Isn't it something that will not be very worthy on I am Calcutta's part to assess you once again that they have already assessed you on? Absolutely. They don't want to test your mathematical skills at all. So they asked me a question, e raised to power mod x, draw a graph of e raised to power, I think it was minus mod x, something like that. So let me make it up, okay? E raised to power minus mod x, this is what they asked me. And they asked me to draw the graph of it. Now, personally, I was not very fond of mathematics, and I was also not fond of questions like these, especially the mod. So what did I do? I simply sat there for a couple of seconds and I thought, what is it that I can do to just mitigate this situation? I remembered that the value of E is 2.73 something. And let me create a table quickly where there is x and there is y, where y being this entire expression. So it is nothing but e raised to power minus x definitely. So the moment I put x as 0, I get y as 1. The moment I put x as 1, I get y as e raised to power minus e raised to power minus 1, which is e, which is 1 by e, of course. Similarly, I created one more value and I drew a graph. Now they were looking at it. I said, sir, I think this should be the graph. And then they smiled at me and they tried to confuse me once again. Are you sure, Ashish? Are you sure? I said, yes, sir, I think I'm sure. But don't you think it should be inverted? So I drew it inverted. It should have been the other way around. So I said, oh, yes, sir, absolutely, you're right. Thank you so much for guiding me. At that point of time, I started to realize that probably they are not assessing me on e raised to power minus mod x or e raised to power mod of minus x or anything. They are actually assessing me on whether I am a quitter. No, I'm not a quitter. Whether I am a person who can find a problem and try to solve it even if I do not know how to do that. Is there any way that I can navigate through it? And eventually, when my last question was concluded, I almost got this feeling that I am in. You will also get the same feeling if everything is done. The problem is we tend to fixate on one question or two questions, and then if they do not go well, everything else goes for a toss. And guys, the other important thing that they want to ask you is that why do you think MBA is better for you? Why not continue in your job. Now, this is another thing. Some people say that a systematized education, which is MBA, helps them. Some people say that my job was not giving me a lot of learning, or there was a lot of rote learning. Some people say that I wanted to change the course of my career, but the prerequisites for any sort of transition within my company required an MBA. All sort of answers are good, but it is very important that you have a very strong answer to questions like this. Otherwise, they will just take you for a ride. Guys, please do not worry about the stress situation that they create. A lot of people have this misconception that an interview that is running for 5 minutes is a bad interview and an interview that is running for 35 minutes is a good interview. All this is a myth. They will get to know what they want to get to know in 5 minutes only, or for 35 minutes if they want to waste their time with you, they may still reject you. I will hold here for one more minute to see if there are any questions. All right, guys. So there is a question. The question is that do the panel not like cliched answers even if they are true? They do like cliched answers, yes, but they must be backed strongly. When I say they must be backed strongly, you have to really prove yourself. For example, if the cliched answer is that it is my dream to do MBA, it is my dream to do MBA, then what is so strong about that dream? Can't you really sleep without that dream? Or can't you eat without realizing that someday or the other you will eventually be able to do MBA? Anything like that. But when I talk about dream, you really have to back it with sound logic. Let's make a question here. Why not? Why should I take you? Why should I take you? So I think because I want to do MBA, or I think because I have experience and I have intelligence. I'm good at co-curriculars. I'm good at extracurriculars. Now, this is a cliched answer. How do you back it up? So let me give you a quick snapshot. Why should I take you? Sir, I think you should take me because I have sound experience with me. The experience not only has taught me the importance of gelling with people and create a great professional environment around me, but also significant technological uh, knowledge that I will be able to contribute once I assume a managerial position 2 years down the lane. My co-curricular and extracurriculars are a testimony of the fact that I do not shy away from taking additional responsibilities. I'm sure there are a lot of people who do the same thing, but I do not get tired of it. I still strive to do that. And I'll keep on doing that during my time in the MBA college as well to enhance myself in terms of what is happening around the world. My intellect is very strong. I'm hardworking. I'm determined. I tried to crack CAT the 2 times earlier as well, but I could not get that. I think the sound perseverance that I bring with me, along with good experience and an intention to devote my energies 100% to the institute that I want to be a part of, this association will be symbiotic if I eventually join you. So please allow me this chance. Now, this is a cliched answer, but you have used some really good words into it and you have made it sound convincing. If you create something like that, of course they will take you. They just want to see why you are spending your time here and why you are trying to waste their time there, if I have to put it this way. So, guys, this is where I would conclude the very basics of the interview. I'm not going into the basics of GD and VAT because that's a very separate class that we'll have to do. Why I'm talking about the basics for interview is because this is that one part around which the entire decision of theirs to select you or to reject you revolves. As a concluding note for this particular section of this session, I would say they will ask you the questions related to each and everything of your form. Now that I've discussed the part of form, let me go to that part. A lot of you must have received calls from various colleges. It could be IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta, Kozhikode, Indore, and SPGen. SPGen, the profile based calls have come, right? Um, so, majorly, if I just restrict myself right now here, and I'm Lucknow, I'm Ahmedabad, the date is over, the form has already been closed. For rest of the colleges, of course, the SPGen date is also over. For rest of the colleges, the date is still there. I think Lucknow, the date is tomorrow morning, and subsequently the dates of other colleges as well, as and when the forms will come up. Guys, understand there are certain things about form. I've kept this session open to tell you that you do not really have to restrict yourself to join any particular course for form filling. See, and after that there will be no problem in any kind of form filling. There are certain set of questions that they expect you to write. Question number one, your personal details. Personal details contains your phone number, your address, your name, and everything else. Fill that, you know it very well. The other part is your education details. In education details, they will ask you the marks, maximum marks, CGPA, and whatnot. You might have a lot of questions with respect to CGPA. I have come across many questions in past so many years. Let me take a few questions. One such question is that there was a specific GPA or specific CGPA or percentage that I mentioned in my CAT form. But now that I have one more result with me, I need to mention something else, and that will not match with the CAT form. It is okay. You don't have to match it. The point is that you will have to write the true information, the truth. If you write truth, you will have to take your documents along. How this process works, let's see. The process works like this. First thing, when you will reach there, they will ask you to fill certain forms. They will ask you to align your documents in a particular fashion. There will be a lot of students over there who will be doing the verification for you. There might be non-students as well, professors also, anything can happen. So you will have to align your documents in a particular sequence, and then the verification will happen. In that verification, they will check everything. They will check your marks, they will check your percentage and everything. So if your mark sheet has percentage in it, for example, they will check it. If your mark sheet doesn't have percentage in it, if you are taking say 6 or 8 mark sheets per semester or per year, whatever you want to say, so they will total the marks and then they will calculate the percentage average. Every single thing is okay till the time you fill the truthful argument. Then your extracurriculars, which means your non-education or co-education initiatives. So if there is some scholarly article that you have written, if you have a snapshot of it in some uh, uh, portal or some on some website or in some journal or anything, just take that thing with you. The other thing is you might have got certain awards in your office and all. You might have certain certificates, the emails, the chats, or an email from some person who has been your boss or immediate boss or anything, or their LinkedIn IDs as well, if they insist on looking at that. Who is this person? I don't know who this person is. You are saying that this person is your director. Show me whether he's a director or not. So you can take the printout of LinkedIn profile as well to show that yes, they are the director who has given you the appreciation emails and all. Sometimes if you do not have anything, the photographs will also do. But the photograph, for example, you are receiving an award. The photograph that is captured must also contain a backdrop in which the name of the award was written. Or if For example, you became Mr. School. So there is a sash that you might have worn, and the sash mentions that, and the year also. That also will do. If you have certain hobbies, certain interests, for example, sketching, please take your sketches along. People do that. If you love painting, please take some of your paintings along. It is okay to not leave anything at home and take everything along, because you want to prove to them that I am not just brains, I am brains that comes with a great creative beauty. Each and everything they want, because eventually everything boils down to profit, if you remember. The other thing, guys, that they will ask you is about your gap. If you have had any gap, please do not hide it. Do not hide it. If you have had any gap, please put that gap. They will give you an opportunity to explain it. They will also ask you sometimes the SOPs. SOPs means statement of purpose. They will divide that into various questions. Why MBA? Why that particular program? Do you have any experience uh, that can substantiate your interest in MBA? Or, for example, I am Lucknow has a very specific policy and questions about their ABM program, Agricultural Business Management. So for ABM, they will ask you, do you have any rural exposure? So you may tell that whatever kind of rural exposure. Why ABM? Why do you think it will be able to take you uh, high in your career? Why do you think MBA in ABM is better than the general MBA? So why MBA? Once again, I mean, why ABM will help the country or anything like that. So they will ask you so many questions. They will either ask you just the SOP, or they will ask you SOP that is broken down into various specific questions. So you have to write that as well. Other than that, they may ask you the details of your family members. Please put them. That is okay. And majorly this. If there is any concern that you have, please feel free to reach out to us in terms of your SOP evaluation, these questions evaluation, and to check whether the particular award will come in uh, any particular bracket or not. Ahmedabad had a very specific policy, because they do not value anything that you have done in your class, in your school, in your college. Simple. If there is something that has been done on national level, not just the college national level, but national level as a whole, only then they value your co-curriculars and extracurriculars. And if they have already asked you not to mention your class, school, or college achievements, please do not mention those achievements. Of course, now will not be the right time. The people who reached out to me, we have already resolved all their problems, and we have done the Ahmedabad form closing. And as and when the next forms will come up, we'll talk about that. Guys, this form is very important. When I say form, it's a personals form. Your entire discussion will revolve around this form. For SPGen, again, they have a form, and then when you go for their processes, they will go for a psychometric test also, and they will also ask you questions from that psychometric test. So please fill that personals form with utmost urgency and utmost seriousness. I had one question in my form, because I wrote that I love reading something on spirituality. So they asked me, Ashish, you have written that you are interested in reading spiritual books. Can you create a correlation between spirituality and MBA? And I gave some answer to that, and the answer eventually probably resulted in my conversion also, because once you write something in your form, you have to justify it. So please do not go anywhere beyond truth. And if you have written something, you need to really work on it. This is where I will again pause for a minute before I venture into the final discussion of our today's session, and let me see if there are certain questions. All right, somebody has asked, how do we justify why MBA without any relevant work experience in related domain or relevant prior knowledge in the field? Now, this is a very unique question and a very common question from all of you. Why MBA? Because, let me make one answer. Please do not copy it, because otherwise it will be plagiarism on your part. I have done my MBA, so please, if you want to do it. Sir, I want to do MBA because I I attended two seminars in my college in which eminent speakers from diverse fields came, or maybe eminent speaker from PNG came. Uh, I was amazed at the amount of consumer knowledge that they had and the work that they used to do. I never realized that the technical knowledge will be used in a manner where I can sell something, or I can use my creativity to uh, make ad films and reach out to the masses. I was not able to put that thing into words at that point of time, but I realized that this is what I wanted to do. At the end of that session, I had some 5 or 10 minutes time to discuss with the speaker as to how to do that and what will be the prerequisites. And the only thing that they told me is that do your MBA from a great college. I then researched on it. I discussed it with a lot of my seniors, and I realized that the kind of skills that MBA will provide me, as well as the networking, this is what my this is where my strengths and my interest lies. So I gave my 100% to what I was doing at that time. I utilized that knowledge to transform, or I utilized that knowledge to prepare for MBA, and now I am here waiting for the next phase of my life to begin. It is all about putting your things into words. So if you do not have any, uh, you know, if you do not have any work experience or a relevant prior knowledge in the field, that is absolutely okay. A lot of people say that, as Bhanu Prakash has said, that they are interested in application rather than theory. So of course it is very cliched, right? And that's why you have to come up with an answer which is new, which is unique. Now when you say that you are interested in application rather than theory, don't you think that engineering has applications? So why did you leave engineering? Especially to the engineers, they will definitely ask this counter question, and then engineers will be stumbled. So please prepare these answers. Once the interview process with Prepzone will begin, you will realize how you curate your answers and express them accordingly. So all right, guys, I think now we have come to the last leg of our session, and this is where I would like to mention what is Prepzone GDPI course is going to offer you. Prepzone GDPI course is a holistic course that offers you each and everything. When we talk about GDPI, um, there is anything and everything that they can ask. They can ask you guesstimates. They will ask you economy. The people who will be getting their calls uh, in February, they will have to, of course, prepare for something known as budget, because budget will come in the beginning of February, I guess. And a lot of discussion happens on budget. They will not just ask you what do you think is the money that is being spent here and there and whatnot. They will ask you very practical questions. What do you think this budget contains? How this budget is good or bad than the previous budgets that you have seen? They expect you to have a great grasp on current affairs. They expect you to have a great personality skills. They expect you to have good communication skills, question handling, aligning your studies, so aligning your domain with YMBA. They will ask you your branch wise questions. So if you are from engineering in say communication, they will ask you about telecommunication. If you are an engineer who is in electrical engineering, they will ask you questions like that. They will talk about international trade terms. They want you to have this information. They want you to know your state. They want you to know your country. They want you to know your language. They want to know, they want you to know the state of your college. For example, I am Cody Code asks, What is Calicut famous for? A lot of people do not even know that Calicut and Kozhikode are same, you can say for now. And there is a great history that is attached to Calicut. The other part will be, of course, the VAT and the AWT and the GD and the GE and the GI, which means group discussion, group exercise, and group interviews, as and when the requirement is. You also will get past interview experiences of people for all these colleges. There will be a history of IITs and IIMs that they expect you to know. I mean, for that specific IIT and IIM. Then they would want you to be aware of various government schemes, and then they would want you to have all the knowledge, and they want you to communicate that knowledge in efficient manner. Prepzone GDPI course gives you every single thing. And that is why we call it the flagship course. So guys, please do not waste your time. The time is ripe now that you take the reins in your own hands. It is already almost half January that we have reached, and now you have to really get into the motion. So please reach out to any person in Prepzone and understand what Prepzone is all about. Reach out to the mentors, reach out to the uh, Prepzone Facebook group, or to this particular comment section. We have already put the group link in the description. Reach out to us and ask us much more about the offerings and get yourself enrolled so that the team Prep Zone can help you achieve your dream. Never ever forget, dreams are not that cheap that you can just not spend your time, your effort, your energy on it. So please go ahead, start your GDPI preparation right away. And once again, I will wait here for a minute to see if there are any more questions before we sign off. All right, guys, I think each and everything is covered now. So I take your leave and all the very best. Hope to see you soon and reach out to us as and when you need help. I hope this session, Life After Percentile, was nourishing for you. This was the open session. The rest of the sessions will now be happening on the secret group for all the enrolled aspirants that we have. Welcome to this train that will take you places. See you, my dear. Bye bye.